Hello, hello. Welcome back to another edition of our Talk It Out sessions presented by V.E.R.B. We're your hosts, Aaron Tate, Adrian Poe, saying hello to our future selves. The lovely Jasmine Patterson couldn't be here with us today, but
Did he adjust our mics too?
yeah,
Sound
it sounds
good.
different.
Yeah.
But she's with us in spirit. If you've caught our other videos and you know what we like to do is we take a specific topic, particularly one that is controversial, and we like to discuss it. We come up with different talking points to bring up throughout the discussion, but we also like to get involved with you guys as well. So for those of you tuning in, please feel free to comment and ask any questions you might contribute to the conversation. That being said, today's lovely topic is Ciara. No, Ciara. No. So if you haven't heard,
Awesome.
or seen, so this past Sunday, I believe, yeah, this past Sunday, the Oscars took place. At the Oscars, all the celebs, they come down the runway, take pictures and stuff like that before going inside for the awards. So, a lovely Ciara and her husband Russell Wilson were, invited to the Oscars, and they took their pictures, things like that. But the topic of discussion, or the surprise of the night, was what Ciara was wearing, the dress that she had on. Um, it was very revealing. A lot of it was see through. She basically left nothing to the imagination. So this sparked a storm on social media. Everybody was kind of criticizing Ciara for what she was wearing, kind of criticizing Russell Wilson for allowing her to come out like that or to wear that kind of dress out in public and for the world to see. And so we're just here to discuss that and get our opinions, get your opinions, and things like that to see were you okay with what she was wearing. If you haven't seen it, please Google it so you can see it now. Probably gonna be as soon as you type in Ciara, it's probably gonna have Oscar's dress underneath in the autocorrect. But yeah, without further ado, how did you feel about what Ciara was wearing?
So I'm gonna prematurely say I'm about to be Ciara's defense attorney
Why did you want to be her defense attorney?
because I feel like I don't have one.
How do you not have a problem?
So there's a lot of determining factors for me. So number one, does the Oscars have a specific attire requirement where they would not let you in?
It's not.
Right. So she passed that, right? Okay. Then did her husband get on social media or embarrass her for pulling up to the event in the dress? Kind of probably roll together, right? Cool. Normally, whenever people are exposed, they cover their nipples or their private area, right? He had nipple coverers, which then left the rest of the breast exposed, which is the same thing that push-up bras and bikini bras and stuff do, right? You got the top part out and you see the shape, you just don't see the nipple. He had a thong on that covers the vagina, but the butt was showing, which is the same thing that bikinis do at a beach. So, due to the fact that the Oscars didn't have any requirements, and if they did, she passed those. She passed the requirements for her husband because he pretty sure they rode together. So when we say she did too much or shouldn't have did it, based on what metrics are we using? That's the question I had. What metrics? Because the Oscars, she got a check. Husband, she got a check. And if we say, well, what about her kids? Well, her husband and her are the ones that determine what they're doing for the kids. So apparently they came to some consensus. And even if we say the kids, I'm pretty sure Ciara done been to the beach with her kids with a bikini on, because she clearly can go to the Oscars like that. She'll go to the beach like that. And then one may say, well, is she at the beach? And then we speak to, well, are you the guidelines of the beach and the Oscars? So when we say no, based on what and why?
Would you be okay with your wife wearing something like that?
If I was with her, yes.
Why is that? Jasmine Commission said, right, if her man doesn't have a problem with it, then oh well.
Yeah, if I was with her, because there's been times where me and my wife was going out and she asked me, "Is this too short?" For me, when I say no, even if it is short, I'm with you. So I'm not worried about nobody attacking you based on them not being able to control themselves. I'm not worried about the things that I may be worried about if I weren't with you. Now, if I'm not with her, I may say, yeah, that's a little too short. I mean, there's still a chance of somebody attacking her, but the likelihood is higher based on the current presentation. It's like waving a 16-ounce steak in front of a dog as opposed to waving a gummy worm in front of a dog. The level of aggression is going to be different, but they're still going to try to snap and bite. So her husband was with her. So I don't see the issue based on those metrics. And if there is an issue, I would ask, what are the determining factors of making that an issue? Now, if she wouldn't have had her nipples covered and her vagina would have been out, then I probably would have had an issue with that. Because at that point, come on now. But she covered the nipples, which is the parts that's normally covered. She covered her vagina, which is the parts that's normally covered. The butt is always a butt. People look at butt regardless. And it was a mesh item on top of it. So I don't think it did as a drastic exposure as people are painting it, especially if the husband was there. And for me, it also speaks to another level of security in regards to a relationship. Because people are saying, well, you left too much to be exposed. Well, on one end, I can be like, well, they must be secure enough to know that regardless of my wife coming out here like that, you're not finna get that. She must be secure enough to know that 1,000 men can try me. This is for my husband. So he's not worried about nobody trying her. And if he is, he knows she's gonna handle it. She's not worried about nobody. And if they do, she'll handle it. So to me, prematurely looking at this, it speaks to a level of maturity in regards of their relationship. And if we say, well, it's too much to be exposed, these are the same people we talking about that watch porn. You pay for that. Like, it's a lot of moving parts for me. And just prematurely looking at it, I don't see a problem with it right now.
So what could change?
It depends on people's response. Like, if they give me a different metric, because I don't use the Oscars, she checked that one. I use the husband, she checked that one. Her and the husband has a family, they checked that one. I may not be considering a particular metric when people are like, hey, she did too much. Like with the whole Lizzo thing. Lizzo went to the game, had her butt cut out, and then down there twerking. You took it too far. Like we're at a basketball game. This is not a fashion show. This ain't nothing you trying to take the scene from. But the Oscars, as you stated, is where people get dressed up to impress. Lizzo was at a basketball game.
You don't get dressed to impress at a basketball game?
No. Not to my knowledge. It's not a fashion show, not a catwalk.
I'm saying it may not be a fashion show for everybody, but for other people, they want to get dressed up, and whatever the case is for basketball.
I mean, getting dressed up and getting cute for a game is not the same as dressing up for the Oscars. Are we really acting like those two are the same?
I'm saying it is not a requirement to be dressed up at the Oscars. Somebody can come in just some blue jeans and a shirt at the Oscars if they wanted to. People choose to because it's an affair, it's an event. So people choose to get dressed up because they don't want to be the odd person not being seen in a nice suit or a nice dress. But it is no different than going to a basketball game. Clearly, there wasn't no guidelines or dress requirements for the basketball game because they let Lizzo in looking like that.
I mean, there are, but what you're telling me is the metric of determining if someone is doing too much is the same for the Oscars and the basketball game to you.
Lizzo got into the basketball game looking into it.
So yes,
I am.
Oh, okay,
yes.
Cool.
Because they take pictures at the basketball game. There's lights, there's people around seeing like the same kind of attention that you get at the Oscars, you get at a basketball game. If not,
so there's a particular spot outside of the stadium where people go before going into the stadium to specifically take pictures at the basketball game.
There's not a runway, but there are cameras everywhere. Yes,
but there's a runway at the Oscars. Therefore, you are more inclined to get dressed up for the Oscars than you are for a basketball game.
It's the same, man. This cameras.
Show me the runway at the game. That's all I want to
know. There's no runway.
Show me the runway at the game.
Okay.
Show me the spot that everybody stop at to take pictures at the basketball game.
Everywhere, literally. Like, okay, so for basketball games, the basketball players that walk through, or that arrive at the arena and walk to their locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Every basketball player in the league, in the NBA, they literally get dressed up just to walk from the outside of the stadium to the locker room to then take off their clothes to put on the jerseys that they wear to play the game. So that whole route to get from outside to that's the runway, so to speak.
Glad you said that. Who does that? The players, right?
Yes,
Who are the players for the Oscars?
There's also celebrities that have access to that area as well, access to the locker rooms.
This further proves my point. The players are the players for the Oscars are the celebrities that stop at that runway. The players for the NBA are the players that play in the NBA. So you're telling me they get dressed up for that particular reason. That's what I'm confirming. They get dressed up for that particular reason.
And that's why I'm exactly. So you just proved my point. It's the Oscars and the basketball game is the same thing. You said, "Where's the runway?" I gave you a runway,
and that's fine. But that to me, that further proves my point of she wasn't out of order based on the event.
I never said she was.
You said no.
I said no. What?
On the caption, it say Ciara no.
Did that say Aaron said Ciara no, or did that just say Ciara no?
Oh, so you cool with Ciara?
I didn't say I was or wasn't. I'm just asking questions, and you're assuming
the
what I'm saying.
The caption says Ciara no.
Because that's what the general consensus is around what she's doing. I'm just drawing attention to the video.
What's your position?
Thank you for asking.
What's your position?
Jasmine said the celebrities aren't the main attraction at a basketball game. The players are. Are basketball players not celebrities, Jasmine? You telling me Stephen Curry is not a celebrity? LeBron James is not a celebrity?
She said, hold on. She said the celebrities aren't the main attraction at a basketball game. The players are.
The players are the celebrities.
But we're talking about for the Oscars, based on the Oscars being the event that it is, she would be a player, which confirms what she did. That makes sense. But Lizzo going to the game with her butt cheeks hanging out, that don't make sense.
Okay, so okay. A basketball game is an experience, right? Whether you're coming for the players or not, you 9 times out of 10 can bet that you're also going to see celebrities, because during timeouts, during breaks in actions, the big board, whatever they call it, they take the time out to acknowledge celebrities throughout the game, which also brings crowd. It incites crowd enjoyment and crowd attention, the crowd experience, by getting them more and more engaged in what's going on at the time. Mm-hmm. So yes, celebrities to a degree can be an attraction. So we can't just act like celebrities aren't desired in some form or fashion, regardless of where they go, whether it be the Oscars, whether it be a basketball game, whether it be a concert, whether it just be them walking down the street and people noticing them and walking up to them saying, "Hey, can I get an autograph?" Like, celebrities are going to gain attention or attract attention regardless of where they go.
That's just them being celebrities.
That's just them being celebrities, correct.
So the only reason I even brought that up is because if you factor in the metrics of the event and the other determining factors, that dress made sense. That's all I'm saying. It made sense.
Okay.
It just made sense. That's like me going to work in a 3-piece suit, a top hat, a cane, slacks, shoes. Like, I could wear that to work, but it don't really make sense. Now, if I wear that to the sneaker ball, that makes perfect sense. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying based on where she was at the time,
the dress made sense.
The dress made sense.
Now, if she wear that to get groceries, she out of order.
Why she out of order, son?
Bro, you in Walmart.
So?
You picking up eggs.
So?
You picking up eggs?
Are there dress code guidelines at Walmart?
Yes.
What?
It literally says on the door, shirt and shoes and stuff must be worn.
Did she not have her shirt and shoes on?
No, she didn't.
You out of order now, bro.
She did not.
Come on,
she did not.
She did.
She did not.
She did.
She
didn't have heels on.
She can't go in the car store with that dress on.
So she didn't have heels on.
I'm telling you, she can't get gas.
Did she not have something covering her?
She can't get gas in Exxon with the dress on.
Why not?
It says on the door, you must have clothes on.
She had clothes on.
Don't worry like that.
Wow. See, that's the contradiction for me, son. It's a contradiction for me. And Jasmine said, people don't come to see the celebrities on the sidelines. They go to games to see basketball players.
Facts. So how do you feel? Let's get your opinion.
So I'm not like everybody else as far as how they're kind of trashing or attacking Russell Wilson for being okay with his wife looking like that or wearing that. I feel like if he if he felt the way, he had an opportunity to have a conversation with her from the time that they left the house all the way to the time that they got there. So on some level, he must have been okay with it, didn't care. You know, I'm sure she might have addressed it or, you know,
ran it by him
before wearing it. Like, I'm pretty sure they have a good, decent enough relationship. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But for them to make it there,
yeah, they probably almost fought.
For them to make it there, he had to have come to a conclusion in his time that it was okay.
But let me tell you about me though, and I'm gonna ask you this: if say me and my wife had the same conversation, she was like, "Well, I'm finna wear it anyway. I'm not finna be on no picture with you," and I told you no.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that you?
Yeah. No. Matter of fact,
drive your own car. Drive your own car.
Matter of fact, we not going nowhere tonight.
Yeah, I'm not going.
I'm
not going.
Get the popcorn ready.
Yeah.
Finna pick a movie.
Now, the fact that they both made it there without bumps and bruises,
to be okay with
he had at some point, because that's just what men do. Like, I'm not finna be on no picture with you, and I told you don't wear that.
Yeah.
I'm not finna be up there like that. I'm not doing that. I don't care if it's the Grammys. Mm-hmm. Mail me mine.
Yeah.
Because my wife thought she was finna be naked.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he had to be okay.
He had to be okay. So from that standpoint, like, hey, if he likes it, I love it. Like, it's cool. That's what she wanted to do. Bet.
Yeah.
And like you said, he was with her, even if there might have been the possibility of her being harmed or attacked in any way. He was there to help her, defend her.
Cool.
That's cool. Me personally, if it were me and my wife, I would not feel comfortable with that. And that, I guess that's a separate conversation. So the first question is basically, are you okay with Ciara wearing what she's wearing? For both of us, I'm cool. That's cool.
I'm cool with it.
But second question, on a personal level, would we, if we were in that position as the husband, with our wives wearing that, would we be okay with that?
For me, it depends on where we're going.
So, Charlene, is that her name? Ciara's son asked her mom, "What does that make that thing up mean?" Her son and his friends holding conversations about her nakedness.
Ciara's son asking her, "Mom, what does make that thing up?" Her son and his friends.
You're not going to tell her no. That's what she said.
What do you mean?
That's what she said. That was her next comment. He's not going to tell her no. I guess she's referring to her husband or Russell, saying he's not going to tell her no. Don't wear that. Why do you say that? Why would Russell not tell her no?
So now we're finna get into the whole.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You read my mind. You gonna let me finish the sentence?
You got telepathy.
I got you. For me, it depends on where we're going. I would have gave Swanee a pass if it was the Oscars.
I don't like how you saying she can't wear that at the
grocery store. We're going to Walmart, bro. You out of order.
Why? You said
just me.
Based on the guidelines.
Just me. I'm telling you just about me. For me, depending on the event, I can have leeway about you getting outside of the norm.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just a preference. Like, I'm not saying it's a 10 commandment. I'm just saying for Adrian Poe, if me and my wife was going to the Oscars and she had a dress like that she felt comfortable wearing, let's ride. I'll run it with you. But if we going to Walmart or just going to the mall, I don't agree with that. And it's the level that I have the event in my head. Now, a lower level event, what you really doing the most? And because I believe that you can be overdressed and underdressed for a situation. And I think that's where my gauging is coming from. And because I have the Oscars at such high regard, it's like, oh, max out. But now...
But if someone chooses to underdress for the Oscars, is that a problem as well?
I mean, now I'm gonna rock with them. I'm gonna say something. I'm like, dang, okay, you just threw on a t-shirt, but cool. Because to me, once again, remember I said, Oscars, I want everybody to max out. Now, you had a choice to not max out, but in my mind, it's the Oscars. Do it big.
But you said you had a what?
Choice.
Okay, so why would your wife not have a choice to max out just going to the grocery store?
Because it's a grocery store. It's not the Oscars.
What? You can't. So you're saying if it's a higher level event, yes, you have a choice to not max out, but I prefer you to max out.
Yes.
If it's a lower level event, you have no choice to not max. You have no choice to max out. You need to not. max out.
Maxing out at Walmart is putting on some heels. It's Walmart.
Okay, but I'm saying you can't say that the choice exists here, but doesn't exist.
Oh no,
here.
it does exist, but like you're not gonna put on that dress for the Oscars at Walmart.
Why not if you have a choice?
Because it's Walmart. Oh no. You have a choice, but your choices are more limited. That's what I'm saying. It's still a choice. So is it not a choice?
It's not a choice. If Ciara wanted to wear the dress she wore at the Oscars at Walmart, that is her choice.
We going to get eggs, baby. You ain't gotta do all that.
We're going to the Oscars, not a porno. Like, come on, son. Charlene said her new song, "You Love It When I Make That Thing Jump." Her son asked her to explain it, and she laughed it off. Okay, she said, "You have kids now, so there are no standards." Why she ain't explain it, son? He asked a valid question.
How old is he?
Can you tell?
How old is their son? How old is the son?
They can't be less. They have to be less than 10. They haven't been born very long.
And then it depends on if she had the conversation about sex with him yet. Because like if Noah asked me that, there's no way for me to explain that he ain't there yet.
But you're putting things out there for your kids to have. Your kids have access to anything you put out there.
But I mean, I can put my car keys on the bar. That don't mean he can grab them and drive.
My God, but he's gonna ask you, what are these keys for?
They're for the car, and you can't drive it yet.
Okay.
That thing is my.
She laughed it off. She didn't even say anything. She just laughed it off.
How old is her child?
Come on.
How old is it? Wait, her song say, "I love when you make that thing jump."
There's a line in her song that says, "You love it when I make that thing jump." In other words, and her son asked her to explain it, and she just.
Is she talking about his thing or her thing? Like when she make his thing jump.
His thing, yes.
Why she get your dick?
Valid question.
It probably was hard. But
she said Lil Future. So Future's son, the kid that she has with Future. I think her and Russell have 2 kids together. So she, all in all, she should have 3. But let's.
Yeah, how old is her son?
So she got. So Future Zaire Wilburn. I can't believe they actually named their child Future. Sienna Princess Wilson, and then Wynn Harrison Wilson. So she has 3 altogether. And Charlene is saying, I hope I'm saying your name right. She's saying that Future was the one that asked about it.
How old is he?
He's 8 years old.
I mean, she got on my dick. Ain't that
hard? Sienna is 5, and Wynn, like literally, all I do is win, is 2 years old.
That's what we need to be discussing.
What?
The name of these kids. I'm gonna let you get away with the nipple ring, the nipple cover with these kids' names.
Come on.
V.E.R.B
said Lil Future is 8. Okay.
Yeah, she could have told him a dick. It ain't that hard.
So why do you think? So do you have a problem with her not saying or explaining?
I do.
Why?
You out of order. Tell that man. Like, tell that man what you talking about. You bold enough to wear that to the Oscars. You can be bold enough to tell your child to do. Now, come on.
I'd be with you if you didn't change up when it comes to Walmart versus the Oscars. Why?
You gotta catch a fade, you know?
You don't think that's hypocritical?
You been gross by yourself. And I want somebody to call me and tell me they saw you in Walmart like that. I kid you not. When you come back to the house, me and you, baby. More me than you. More me than you. I kid you not, it gonna be more me than you.
How would y'all feel? Would y'all be cool if she wore that to Walmart, or is that something that's just reserved for the Oscars? What's up, Boo Rat, Charlene?
Out of order, man.
How do y'all feel? How do y'all feel about Ciara's dress in general? I think they pretty much said it like.
But you know, there was a time though that I would have immediately been like, oh man, she wrong for that. But like, once I go through the metrics, it's like it kind of makes sense though. Yeah. Now, if she wouldn't have had them nipples covered and wouldn't have had her private part covered, definitely a no. But it's kind of the same to me. Like, you covered up the parts that people mostly don't expose in a public situation, and you put a mesh part on top of it. So it's like that makes sense, and it's a fashion statement too. Like, I get that it's a fashion statement.
Let me make the statement in Walmart. And Dollar Tree,
no.
Dollar General. I want people to know that I'm on top. Your dress costs
more than everything in this show. Please stop playing with me. Come on, man.
Charlotte said, attention, because she about to go back on tour. Oh, so she's trying to garner some attention and some traction regarding her.
See, that's even more genius. Kanye West do stuff like that.
Yeah,
like that makes sense.
Kanye didn't walk around with his with his dick out.
But then my thing though, Lil Kim had clothes on and a whole titty out with a stamp on it.
And she was violating, son. Son, no. Crazy.
Let that lady have that, man. Let that lady have that. Let that lady have that. Cool with me.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I think it's something about the level of security also that makes me feel more inclined to be like, okay, that's cool. It speaks to a level of security in regards of their relationship to me.
So, do you think, and this is a thing that some women have said about men all the time when it comes to men, I guess trying to dictate, so to speak, what their woman goes out looking like or what their woman wears outside of the house. Um, Most women tend to view men as insecure for having an issue with certain things that they may wear or only wanting their woman to expose so much of their body. How do you feel about that? Before you answer, Byron said, "Oh, Charlene said, where can you wear a bikini on the beach? Where can you wear a bikini on the beach, not inside Walmart?" Byron Harper said, "I see it every day, and they get mad if you look." He's saying like women decide to expose their bodies every day, but then still get upset at the attention that they get from exposing their body. Yeah. I agree with that. So how do you feel about women saying that men are insecure from wanting to?
It depends on if it's coming from a place of insecurity though, because I mean some of it is out of concern of, oh well, what if somebody take my girl? But that's more of a your girl issue, not the person issue. Am I tripping? Unless like they kidnap her for real.
Yeah, sometimes I think you're not telling the whole story. So it's not just a matter of what if somebody takes my girl. It's there. So, and me and Whitney was kind of talking about this. And me and Jasmine. Most men
just completely disregard the conversation. You want to blindside me.
We're having the conversation now
on camera.
Most men think that, or they generally know. So, for example, you remember when me and your wife first became friends, and before giving me a chance, you already decided how you felt about me based on how you felt other men were, right? Or how you think men are in general. I think for the most part, most men think the same way as well. Is they know how other men think, they know how other men act, and they know the lack of control that most men practice, or most men. Yeah, they know the level of control that most men fail to practice, right? So in their mind, I want you to mitigate or limit the amount of exposure in order to limit the amount of attention you may get, because you might end up rolling up on a guy who has no control, who decides, hey, I see something that I like and I'm going to take it. Whether or not, no matter how many times you tell him no matter how many times you tell him you have a boyfriend or a husband or whatever the case is, no matter how many times you basically do what's in your control to let him know this is not an option for you. Some men don't care nothing about that, right? So now what's happening is you're putting yourself in harm's way when you didn't have to. You're garnering or you're attracting a level of attention that you really didn't have to if you would have decided to just cover this up, right? And so that's where a lot of men are coming from. It's, hey, I know 10 times out of 10, in the event that you are put in harm's way, you are going to look to me to come and save you and to protect you. I don't want to have to do that if I don't have to, but I'm more than happy and willing to if it comes to that. But if we can limit the amount of times that it does come to that within our control, let's control that. And I think that's where most men are coming from, and that's the thing that a lot of women don't tend to consider.
That's fair.
Because
that's fair.
Because if women go out and they decide they want to do what they want, but then it also, like Byron said, they get unwanted attention. The first thing you're gonna do is look for your man to take care of it, right?
But how many men you know actually explain that piece? Because
they don't.
It's mostly, am I gonna be getting my girl? Am I gonna take my girl?
Absolutely,
like,
they don't.
What are you saying?
They don't. I can agree with that 100%. They don't.
So
most men ain't.
Based on that perspective, I understand. But the stuff that we've heard thus far, that don't make no sense.
Yeah.
Now I realized this when you were talking. I can transparently say the reason that I don't feel a way about Ciara's dress, because remember I said I feel like it speaks to a level of security. It's because of the level of security that my wife has always provided me, that I don't have to worry about. I don't have to worry about. Ain't nobody take my girl. So I'm looking at it from that perspective, and it's like, well, if Russell and Ciara is on that same thing,
then there's no problem.
Ain't no problem with it. But what you're explaining, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But from the general consensus of the men that we spoke to in these situations,
They don't explain it like that.
you ain't got no problem. Get some around. Go fix that.
But yeah, but that is something that I want women to understand. It's not always
that's
about
valid.
us being insecure. It's just we understand that we have the duty of protecting you at all costs, and so we would like for you to help us protect you by not gaining unwanted attention if you don't have to. That's how women can protect their man, is by not putting them in a situation to have to protect you.
I agree.
Byron said there really is a time and a place to wear certain things. Sergeant Trail said if you wear some slut-ish, I'ma talk to you like a slut. He also said point blank. You said so.
Oh, hey guys, I'm here. Hey Trail, how you doing? Then lead into that. You just came out the gate.
Just guns blazing, bro. Any women that are listening, have you ever held that perspective of men being insecure for trying to control what their woman wears? Or have you ever been with a man who had an issue with it but didn't really properly explain the issue the way that I did, or did he just come off as he's afraid of another man coming to snatch you?
And I'm almost 100% sure that if the man explained what you explained, that woman wouldn't dare put that on. But they're not explaining it. It's coming from a place of, I'm gonna take my girl, man. Like, what are you saying?
Yeah, no.
So yeah, I have no issue with accepting that because that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And if any woman who's wanting to be a protector or to protect her man, that makes sense too. Yeah. But that's not what they saying.
And that's another conversation. That was something that me and Jasmine touched on. Just about if a man's duty is to protect a woman, then how can a woman protect a man? And I was telling her, well, that's how, by not putting him in unnecessary situations to have to risk his life for you.
That's beautiful. That makes sense.
That's exactly how you can protect us.
Now, if Russell led with that and Ciara still had her song, you out of order, bro.
You out
of order, man. Mm-hmm. You out of order. But if they was coming from the general consensus of the only concern is my woman being stole based on what she got, run it, bro. Ain't nobody finna get this. This mine.
Yeah. And then like the two, because you mentioned the fact that Russell was with her, so she was good. Like you never know, at any point he might have gotten up and gone to the bathroom, or she might have gotten up and gone to the bathroom. Unless he's like attached at her hip, anything can still happen at the slightest moment that you guys separate. Yeah. And that's still a level of danger that you have to deal with. And again, if you're willing to accept those risks,
run it.
But we can't act like those risks don't still exist.
Yeah, you're right. So Ciara look like she'll run a nigga fade. Like she look like she ain't got no problem.
Yeah. And then too, so did you ever see, sometime last year she released a music video with Summer Walker. And in the music video, her, Summer Walker, and all the dancers that they had in there, they were dressed in basically just like tank tops and booty shorts, twerking and stuff like that. Ciara was on there. Do you think that as you get older, there should be a natural evolution of the way that you present yourself?
Based on certain things, because we also have to remember that this lady is an entertainer. Mm-hmm. So Idris Elba and all these other people, they're married, but they're on these movies kissing and hunching. Like they're actors, they're entertainers. So where do we draw the line at? This lady is a celebrity. She's going on tour. Like these are marketing skills. It's not like she's out here waking up, oh, I'm gonna put this dress on, see how many men I can make lust after me. No, she's a celebrity. This is literally kind of part of her duties, so to speak, not to just come out like that, but but I'm saying it's a music video. I'm known to be a dancer. I started this dancing thing. I'm getting older, but I still got it. It's like dudes going to the gym. You 50, but you in the gym, bit pressing 300 pounds. What you doing that for? Mm-hmm. You on Instagram flexing. What you doing? Because I'm 50 and I still got it. So where do we draw the line?
I guess if you're not an entertainer, then or Walmart, according to you.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, I get that there need to be lines drawn, but this lady is literally a celebrity. So where I don't go in Walmart recording TikToks, but a famous TikToker do. Where do we draw the lines, right? So there has to be a little leeway given, because this is the same Ciara that has been on other videos grinding and humping and hunching, and this is the same Ciara. She's still an entertainer. She's still a celebrity.
But The difference is now is that she's married. And
Yeah, she married and got a family. But once again, hey, I'm pretty sure he understands that you still a celebrity.
It's part of your
This
job.
is part of your job. Like, what do you think Idris Elba's wife feel about him kissing these folks on their movie? Hey, don't put your lips on. Oh, $100 million check. Do you love her? No. Are you trying to divorce me for her? No. All right,
Get your money, baby.
Get your money, boo.
Get our money, baby.
Yeah, that's not a factor of lust or intimacy. Like, that's this man's job. So come on. So Walmart, it's a no.
Walmart is a yes. According to you, Walmart is a yes. you got to let him rock the dress at Walmart.
Can't take it to Walmart.
Why?
I kid you not, I'm finna be a Chris Brown around the I'm finna Chris Brown you in this car. We gonna get eggs. You taking it too far. I'm finna bebop you in this car.
Son,
Okay.
got to.
I'm finna show you that thing jump. Your left eye gonna be jumping.
Do your thing in the produce section, baby.
Kid you not.
You better rock it. You better rock it in the produce.
It's gonna be eggs hatching everywhere.
Gotta come up out there, bro. You gotta come up out there.
You taking it too far. Take it too far.
Hey, man. But I mean, aside from her in general, though, like just regular people, regular folk who aren't entertainers, who it isn't in their job description.
Yeah, you have no reason, so to speak, to do stuff like that. Not to say that I mean, anybody can do whatever they want to do.
Charlotte said, if you're trying to get the eggs free, if you're trying to get them free.
Anybody can do whatever they want to do, but it's that thing where all things are permissible, but not all things are acceptable. Yeah, like that's not what you do. And if it is, then cool. But if it ain't, it just ain't. It just ain't. Like,
so if that's what Ciara do, why she can't rock it in Walmart?
come on, bro.
Come on.
We just need paper towels. I got the eggs on the way home. I forgot the paper towel. You mean to tell me you gonna go in your closet,
bro,
put nipple rings on?
You know how much I paid for this dress?
I do need to wear it a couple
I
times.
gotta wear it.
Now, from that perspective, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Now you gotta bring me in. Remind me that we paid $500,000 for the dress.
Got you.
You wearing the Walmart. We also need to stop by Dollar General.
Yeah,
Whatever we forgot at Dollar General, going to Dollar Tree.
Sam's, all
I'm
that.
with you. Now you got me.
Cool.
She can definitely wear it to Walmart and Dollar General. I'm with you now.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you gotta find my avenue. Once you find my avenue, I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. We definitely wearing it and all this stuff. You got me. That's what I'm saying. See, I didn't know I was gonna change my mind. You present something that I was like, you know what? You're right.
I mean, you presented some good points too. I can't knock it at all. Yeah, I mean, I guess ultimately it comes down to is up to the people that it's affecting. You know, again, like we talked before, if her and Russell had a conversation with it and he came to a conclusion in his mind that he was okay with it, cool. I don't like how she didn't explain the line in the song to her son when he.
No, I don't like that. No.
Like,
you could have told him.
You're putting it out there for him to see, unless you're restricting him specifically to not see that stuff. You putting it out there for him.
And that's what I'm finna say. Now there is a determining factor. If you decided that, because like me, I told me and my wife had a conversation one night, not about the sex thing, but like other life stuff. I told her I had a specific time and age when I was gonna start teaching Noah specific things. Mm-hmm. So if Noah asks me now, I'm gonna evade it because that's not the time that I've selected. So if Ciara has in her mind that I'm not going to start doing that until my son is 12 or 13, that makes sense. But it's another one I'm saying. We don't know if she's had that conversation or not. Now, if she have a specific age where she decided that, hey, it's not until this age where no matter what he asks, I'm not going to answer until this age, that makes sense. But if that's not her position, she should have went on ahead and told it. Because whatever you're putting out there, I do believe that you should be willing to explain it one day when it's asked.
So why? So give an example of what you're not ready to explain to yourself.
We can use sex. Like if he asks, like, cause. Woo! So the other day we was in our room and we sent Noah to his room. And Noah was at the door crying because he heard us in there exercising. Noah said, "He beating on the door. I want to exercise too." I can't explain that right now.
Yeah.
Because there's no way for me to explain what's going on. So he think we're exercising because he hear noise and So that I wouldn't explain right now.
Right, but at the same time, you're also not exposing him to that as well. Like you had the door closed. It's not like he had an open invitation to just walk
I
in
mean,
and
of
see
course he
what's
walked
going on.
in. He walked in. Then we closed the door. It was the whole thing. I forgot. I left out that part. And I'm trying to look like exercise. So cool. You know, one, two. I don't know what he had. Three, four. I get it. You saw that doing the push-up. I completely understand. I'm with you, son, but that's not what's going on. So it depends. It depends on where you are and the decisions you made with your kids. So I wouldn't explain that.
But again, this is you're not. Your initial intention is to allow him to be exposed to that. You on some level you are going to
Yeah. Just not right now.
right. I guess the point that I'm getting at is clearly you're not doing anything to not have your children exposed to your music and to your whatever form of your entertainment is. So if you're not going to at least try and
Filter.
restrict his access or his exposure to what it is that you put out, why not go ahead and explain it to him? If you are restricting his access or his exposure, then I can see why somebody might have played him.
I was just saying, but the likelihood of him being, even if she tell him, "Hey, don't listen to my music until you're this age," she can't control that to that degree. Like we can always lock a door or do it quieter, but she can't control music. It's everywhere. So in her mind, it says, "Okay, when you're 12, I'm going to explain this sexual stuff to you," but he's not 12 yet. So when he hears, "Hey, man, what you mean make that thing jump?" Son, not yet. We don't know that.
Charlene said, "Can't explain why mommy's screaming hallelujah, oh Lord."
Right. So we're just not there yet. And that's another one of those things where once you factor in the determining factors, it don't look as bad as her just saying, not yet. Because we don't know. Like, we don't know the conversation her and Russ had, but I'm just pretty sure that if he was a definite no, he wouldn't have done that. Like, I don't think he would have been up there like that. So I think she good for now. She good.
I guess, man. How do y'all feel, Charlene, Sergeant Trail, Byron?
I'm gonna let her have it. I'm in a much better place in my life. There was a time where I wouldn't have thought about it.
Yeah, because I remember you specifically saying you don't want your wife looking like a horse.
I know. There was also this time where I was roasting these people about taking these children in these stores with no shoes on, but then I had a child. Oh, it makes sense. It's another 30 minutes I got to spend to get this shoe on. Right, come on. And I went on Facebook and I apologized. I said, "Hey, y'all remember, I roasted y'all last year about the shoes. I apologize. I understand now." So that's what I meant with that. Like I remember that, but I'm not there no more. I'm not there no more.
Charlene said they had a bodyguard, I'm sure, because she had that 16-karat ring on.
Good Lord. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna have it.
I mean, people do what they want to do. At the end of the day,
I heard the radio show this lady said, "I ain't got no problem with Ciara. It's always the bad built bees made like me or milk jug trying to tell somebody that look good what the well." She said like me.
Yeah.
She said, so y'all know we made like milk jugs. Yeah, we just mad because we can't do it. She said, "We just mad because we can't do it."
Yeah,
I said,
that's really what it is.
Yeah, she right.
That is really what it is.
She said, "We just mad because we know we couldn't pull that mess off."
Yeah. I mean, and it's usually women of that body type that tend to wear stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean they can get away with it.
Yeah, I mean
they can get away with it.
You happen to get your Lizzos of the world that just don't care. But
and my thing is, and I think it makes it be me like if when I do the work needed for my body to look like I want it to look like, I'm gonna be ready to go to the beach. Cause like I put in a lot of work. That's like a doctor spending 8 years and then putting his degree in a closet. Like he put it on the wall. Like that's just what he do. I'm telling y'all now, I'm gonna have my shirt off all summer. It's a thing.
At the beach though, you ain't gonna be walking in Walmart like that, are you? Son. So you okay with walking in Walmart with no shirt, but not Ciara wearing that dress in Walmart?
I let her have it now. I let her have it in Walmart now. I'm gonna show off my work. I'm definitely gonna show off my work, bro.
Charlene said, "But Russell may be proud. Look at me. This is mine."
Yeah.
That early.
Yeah, like man. it's a level of security, and I know I'm projecting, but like my wife has done a great job at giving me security in her. So I if that's what they got, you really could have came naked. And I'm not promoting her to go naked, but I'm just saying like there's a level of security inside of a marriage that women provide that once you reach it, or if a man experienced that, there's really nothing that a woman can do that you would feel that for. Like it.
Yeah, I mean, but I think it's not so much just.
Oh no, I get the threatening part.
Yeah, like
I get that.
the world
I
is
get
just a really dangerous
Yeah,
place.
it is.
Even
I
if she
get that.
didn't get attacked at the Oscars that night,
You
man.
had that dress on?
Yeah, like somebody later on this week could have approached her like, "Hey,
Yeah.
what's up? I
Yeah,
seen what you
yeah.
was looking like with no clothes on. Bet, let's run it." You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of risk involved. And if you sit down and weigh the risk and decide to do it anyway, cool. But if you're just going out here guns blazing, like
My
with,
guns were definitely blazing.
it's like without having actually assessed and weighed the risks out there, then you kind of reckless.
But I bet, and I could bet, as rich and famous as they are, Russell ain't even thought about the whole putting me in jeopardy thing.
Yeah.
Like I think
I mean, like Charlene said, they probably got security
Yeah,
anyway, so
yeah,
for
so
them,
like,
they probably feel
you really could have came naked. What's up?
Yeah. Charlene said, "You do TikTok with no shirt on?"
I do. Shit, I have. You must have seen my flesh, soul, and spirit videos.
Oh yeah, you do.
I do. Every video with flesh, soul, and spirit, flesh does not have clothes on.
This is true.
Yeah, I do.
This has been interesting.
Yeah.
Well, now's a good time for our segment "In a Perfect World." If this is your first time catching this segment, then what we do is we take everything that we talked about or discussed, or the concepts that we introduced, and we determine what a perfect world would look like if we put these concepts into practice. So for you, Adrian, what would a perfect world look like? In a perfect world.
I'm kind of conflicted because if we're viewing it from the perspective of mitigating the possibilities of placing the man in a position to be more defensive than he normally would have to be, then put some clothes on. If we're coming from the position of I'm worried about somebody taking my woman or destroying my marriage because you expose a level of you, it's okay because everybody should be secured enough in that aspect to not have to worry about that. So it just depends on which perspective we're taking, what it looks like for me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty much the same on that. In a perfect world, men and women would have more dialogue surrounding why men may not be okay with that. Men would do a better job of actually explaining their position so that a woman can actually understand it, so that she doesn't just view him as an insecure man. Mm-hmm. She actually understands where her man is coming from and understands what she can do and the part that she can play in protecting her man. But again, you also made a good point earlier about, this Ciara's a celebrity, she's an entertainer, this is what she does. So this does make sense based on the kind of attention that she needs to maintain for her career to sustain a certain level of success. Yeah. So I get that. But us regular folk,
not now.
Us regular folk, come on. We're not out here like that,
come
son.
on now.
We're not getting paid to show our bodies, son.
On,
like there's no reason for you to be out here like
this. That's not your lane.
We not out here like this.
That's not your lane.
We are not out here like
this. Not
this.
Your lane.
So, but yeah, that's my take.
Not your lane.
In a perfect world, let's just have a conversation. Let's be more open to that conversation, and men, let's do a better job of explaining.
Yeah.
But this is interesting. I didn't expect you to come from this from that position.
I've been enlightened lately.
Clearly.
On a lot of things.
Clearly. But this is a good place to stop. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. For those of you that commented and interacted with us, we really appreciate you. Please join us same time, same place next week. On Thursdays, 7:00. 7 p.m. Central Time. If you want to catch our other videos or other topics we've talked about, just visit my YouTube page. Just type in Aaron Tate. That's AARONTATE. You should see my face. Click on it. You'll have access to all the videos and topics we've discussed so far. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, any video that you do watch, make sure you like, turn on post notifications, and click that bell so you can catch every time we go live. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and say goodbye to our future selves. One day we'll look back on this and wonder why we were ever like this in the first place.